Hey y'all know what it is. Another episode one bangers. Your real partner gonna game you up. Shit, they got me blowing on some fat. They still put the celebrations on the news for Juneteenth. Ninjas is celebrating for nothing. I don't know what. I don't know. I don't know what. How does that support that disrespects the people that went through the struggle? That disrespects the people that went hard in the paint with it. You know, you celebrating niggas. Slavery is not over with, you guys. They never had a reparation. There never was a disposition. You can't build, you can't abuse and commit every penal code in the book, right, to people, and then say we just cool after 300-400 years. Shit that got me blowing on something fat. That bill that the American government owned, African American, that bill was supposed to come before the Indian deal, before the Japanese deal. Because all the slaves ever did was make it good for you, made it rain. Slavery was like micro slap. And slavery was the number one stunner. Stop. Slavery was the number one stop. So y'all, they need to quit playing, and we're going to have to get a bill on the table because slavery was responsible for $1.7 trillion annually. That means every year, because of the slave. So we have to, at this point, we could throw out slavery. What I'm really pushing for is reparation for the labor of slavery. Because we have the numbers. The numbers are accurate. And wasn't nobody in them field but Africans. Wasn't nobody. When they disrespect us, they disrespect the people that built this country. That built and still survived all that shit. But niggas is too nice. Niggas get nice now, and you don't want to make no waves. No, say what you mean and mean what you say. You know, let them people hear, because when you look at the facts, when you look at the Japanese internment, for them few months, y'all inconvenienced them, but you were gracious enough and benevolent enough to give them a reparation after their country bombed our country. Let's get this clean. Let's keep it a buck. Let me get my drink, though. Yeah. All I'm asking now for is a bill to pay reparations for the labor of slavery. Because our ancestors can't be happy. Niggas is celebrating, barbecue, drinking. And it was really hard in the paint. Because, some of them slave owners didn't want them people going. So they were sending out hanging parties, basically, go get them. And it was rough. And people didn't get paid. So what are we celebrating? This is a day that they let a nigga go broken a motherfucker after all their life, because you got to remember, they kidnapped the slaves. The slaves wasn't from here. We wasn't from here. We were not from this country. And it's just like everybody all of a sudden got amnesia. But when you intern them Japanese internment camps on Terminal Island in Frisco, I'm gonna get the exact numbers. I got them wrote down somewhere. You gave them 2.6 or 7 billion. You know, I mean, damn, that was benevolent. When you made the deal with the Indians, when you got in the back room with the Indians, right? Made the deal. But they couldn't bring themselves, like I say, all them people in Congress and Senate, Johnson, Smith, we don't even associate them names with white people no more. That's how deep their families were enslaved. And I say all that to say this here. They achieved generational wealth of criminality. That's a criminal. They were criminals. Y'all kidnap people and bring them over here and force them into servitude. And then now when you got benevolence, you don't have enough in your benevolence in your heart, and nobody has sense. I don't respect none of them, but Trump, that don't I already know what Trump is. You call it like you see it, Trump he's like us, because Trump is a felon in the presidency. But you can't get a job at Walmart. Don't have a felony on your record and try to go get a job at the corner store. But you could be president. So if you're that sharp and you could do that, that's what convinced me over. Because I wasn't, Trump. I wasn't favorable to Trump. But then once I started really looking at the business of politics, because it's a business, and he's the best businessman. You can't get a job at the corner store, at the paper route with a felony. And he the president. And I'm good with it in war situations because niggas got to be decisive. Got to know how to move and maneuver. It's chess moves, Because believe me, Putin is playing with Iran. Putin knows. And then they know Putin in the cut. Russia. Iran ain't just doing all this shit, right? And ain't nobody behind him. But that's how this goes. But I'm comfortable because I know Trump ain't, playing no soft touching. So you in good hands when you fucking with a nigga that's decisive. Get him, Trump. But anyway, in the meantime, in between time, Rodney Henson, they had a brief on him today. That's the one that forced that man to look at a video of them executing his son. That's crazy. And say he pointed a gun, right? But that's all we have to decide on. They say. That boy he ain't pointing no gun at nobody because even the steel shot. See, there's a lot of shaky shit went on because the body cam shouldn't have went on. How the body cam go off? And all of a sudden, all the times they chase me with the body cam shit, that thing don't go off like that. But that's what they did. They said it went off, and then they showed us still shots, even still shots of the boy running between the dumpster. And the only pictures they have of him is his back is turned and he's running. They don't have no picture of him facing nobody. So you could believe that if you want to, that he pointed a gun at somebody. That was just target practice. They got a chance. They caught him because he was the last one too. They wanted to hear. They just like wanted to hunt. That's why I say sometimes you give a person too much power because you have to ask yourself, right? Was he competent in using this deadly force, right? Because there's been no evidence produced to support that he was in jeopardy. First off, and then when the man seen the video, right, and seen him execute his son, the man went crazy. And the reason you know he went crazy is because he didn't go nowhere when he left that court. He didn't go nowhere and think about nothing. Oh, dry ass lips. Shit. He didn't go nowhere and think about nothing. You know what he did? He was like, green light, nigga. Point seen, money gone. The first one I see, I'm getting on. His mind was already made when he seen the video. Somebody got to answer because if he didn't do it, they wasn't going to have nobody punished for killing that kid. And it's hella weak. That case is hella weak. Cincinnati needs to be ashamed of themselves. Y'all steady trying to spin a narrative and you could have kept the body cam on. How about that? Now you want to kill his daddy because his daddy went crazy. That was all one motion. When he flipped, that was one motion. From the courthouse to the first police I see, I'm gonna own him. And he wasn't going, nothing else was gonna matter. Nothing else mattered. He watched you kill his son, execute his son, and then you and the niggas here trying to cap, right? Capping. You and the niggas here capping. And you done killed my son, nigga. You trying to tell me, and I don't see no pictures or anything of him pointing the gun. See, they haven't even proven. They said they think because you mentioned the gun, it's a justification. They felt like they had a free. I'm just gonna tell you. He said, we got this. Let's get this one. The other three gone. But the problem with this theory is when something like that happens, right? It's been gun mentioned and everything through the radios, all the, So it's a perimeter. They set up a perimeter. You're not getting out of the perimeter, right? And so why not, if I have training, proper training and education, why not say we'll get him in the cut over there because he ain't going nowhere? Why would I rush to use deadly force? And then you still haven't showed us a picture or showed us anything to support you were threatened. Just having a gun is not, because they got bad cops all the time. They'll drop a gun in you on the motherfucker. They'll put some dope on you. The regular people don't believe that. I've been through that, I've been lived through it, And so, stop playing with our intelligence, though. You're going to tell us a story. Anybody could take a picture and make that picture be whoever they want and whatever story they want to put it in. So I'm not listening to nobody tell me, show me the evidence. And then to say, you asking for the death penalty for this man that witnessed his son getting executed and went crazy. That's really what you call a temporary loss of sanity. That's really that's the case a prototype. I went crazy and I've been there before. You don't even come back. He didn't come back till he went to jail. He probably still ain't back. That man need a psychiatrist. He didn't go nowhere and plot. This is when it's murder. Now I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna get that nigga. I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna plot. And no, that seeing his son, he was in shock, bruh. Believe me, we all would be. If you love your kid and you watch them gun him down, and then you don't even show me where you were threatened. And there was one kid, and it's like 8 police, because I told you, the other 3 dudes gone. They just had a hunting, they played a hunting game. I'm going to tell y'all. That was a hunting game. You going to say he had a gun? Look, you know, we don't see him having a gun. You don't have no photos of him having possession of no gun. You found a gun, but that's not, what does that's not, that's not, that evidence is not, that's not conclusive evidence because you found a gun of him pointing the gun at somebody. Him trying to use, how about him trying to get away and he's 16, catch up with his partners? How about that? How about he never pointed a gun because you don't have film of him pointing a gun? How about you destroy tape, valuable body cam tape, and resorted to still shots as you narrating what happened? And it was one kid and 5 or 6. You know how scared that boy was? That boy wasn't trying to point no, even if he had a gun, he wasn't trying, ain't nobody crazy. He was trying to get somewhere like any other kid. I'm trying to go, let me go catch up with my partners. Look, he left out. He's not trying to stop and shoot at nobody. So that narrative is where they spent it. I'm going to let y'all decide, but it's just some fishy. But look, free Rodney Hitchens. Don't kill that man for going crazy. That man, he's not even guilty because he wasn't in his right mind. Nobody does that in his right mind. Go from point A to point B. Point seen, money gone. Point seen, money gone. Stop acting like we still in the 18th century, like niggas don't understand or can't read or can't focus on, all you have to do is know the biggest thing in education is if you know how to read and understand. If you read and understand, you will be great. Just fine. But yeah, I never seen that. They got the body cam one out. They got the still shot. And I didn't know until they showed a close-up. I want to try to find one in the video. And he was bleeding. They shot him all in his ass and back. Look. They never showed any picture but his back and ass. Them the pictures they had. There's not one picture where he's faced up with somebody. What did that tell you? And then all of a sudden the body cam didn't work. So you can't believe none of that. Nothing in that is true. He was by himself, the other 3 was gone. And y'all took a chance and bet a bunch on a hunch and did what you wanted to do. They killed that dude on purpose. And that's what he seen. That boy daddy seen it. I'll bet you. His daddy seen that. Nigga. That's why he didn't have to quit. He didn't finish watching the video. That's when you know a nigga understand. Now I don't even have to say no more. Look, he didn't say nothing else. He got up, look, and left. Green light though. It's green light. On site. On site. And the first one he seen, he got on. See you later, bye. Fair change ain't no robbery. But he was insane. I hope that they seen my video 6 months ago when I said that the first time. Because I had a case like that. You can lose your mind for a time. I'm talking about tone out. When they're stressed or something like that, that's PTSD. Imagine watching the video of them kill your son. Just imagine just being in that situation. What would you do? And you don't see one picture of him trying to hurt nobody. All the pictures that they got of him, you know what he was doing? Running. Stop it, y'all. The video thing ain't working. And that man is not guilty because he was insane. Rodney Henson was insane at the time he killed that police. Allegedly, if he allegedly killed him. But you can't kill somebody that's crazy. I can't wait for they put that jury together. Because who don't have a kid? And you have to, the only way you ever reach a real conclusion, a truthful conclusion on whenever you're trying to deduce something is you gotta ask yourself. We do subconsciously, we ask ourselves, what would we do in that situation? Just think about it. With the evidence that they have. And then not one time did they say condolences to the family. Even if the cop got killed. Condolences to his family too. But they killed the kid. You killed a juvenile on a kill mission. Yeah, they got the gun. They showed us the gun. They got the gun. They showed us the gun. But the gun don't work by itself. We have to take your word for who had possession and why couldn't you just throw the gun in there? We're gonna get him and threw the gun in there to have some, because the damn boys was asleep in a stolen car. And did it rise to the level? Like I say, this is why he should be prosecuted. The threat didn't rise to the level where he had to kill that boy. Because the evidence don't show us that. See, we gotta go on with the evidence. We can't go on, people lie. Everybody lie. The evidence. Lying at the top ain't the evidence. We have to rely on the evidence to deduce what happened in this situation. Does it point to it being truthful that he was threatened with a gun? Because we don't see no evidence of it. And the boy is dead. He can't say nothing. You feel me? But with the evidence they got now, that man is supposed to be in jail. That police officer that shot that boy is supposed to be in jail because if you have, they always get on the stand be talking about my training and experience. Right, how they be popping that? You should have enough training and experience, nigga, to say, we'll get him right around the corner. He ain't going nowhere. We got the perimeter set up. That's how they got the other three. They wasn't getting out that perimeter. So he was supposed to be able to say, well, we'll get him around the corner. Not start shooting. Just start shooting a motherfucker. And it's a kid. I feel something that when they turned in, I really seen him. The shirt, I could see the back of his shirt was bloody. So the bullets is in the back. And all we ever seen in the pictures is the back of the boy running. And what was he trying to do at that age? I'm trying to I'm trying to catch up with my other partners. He wasn't trying to, they got him like he stood back to have a shootout. Is that likely? Is that a reasonable conclusion? But they justified the shooting. So they're all crazy anyway. Because how is they don't even have all the facts in. if these are the facts they had, you know, he had a gun. Look, no picture of him with the gun. No picture of any other than boys with the gun. And they wasn't trying to do nothing. The people called and say the boys was, they say it's 4 people sleep in a stolen car. That's the call. So do we use deadly force? No, deadly force is not justified unless the other video I showed the other day, they say he shot the other police. So you can't argue when it's a back and forth. You know, you just got to say it's self-defense when you do it's like that. But no, they ain't nobody got hurt. He could have let that boy go, and we'll catch him around the corner because they wasn't going nowhere. The police already had them perimeters locked in. You know, so did he make the best judgment? No, because he didn't try to make a best judgment. He had a free kill, and that's what that dude did, and he needs to be in jail. That police officer needs to be in jail. Because he hasn't showed us he was in danger. Don't just show us no gun and say you were in danger. He got a gun. They said that when he was coming through the dumpster, one of the police said, he got a gun. But then the gun was supposed to have dropped, and he picked it up, and they let him pick it. See, it's all kind of square shit that don't make sense. When it's too square, it ain't gonna fit in that round hole. You know, they just lying, and I hope they get some representation, his family, to sue their ass. Because you're not even making a reasonable decision based on the evidence to say that shooting is justified. The evidence don't say that. The evidence don't say it, and the evidence is that we got pictures. We only see pictures of the boy running, which is what drove his daddy insane for a minute. Y'all think about it. Love me, like me, share me, get me out there. I holler. Yeah.